it's Russell from What Drives Us, and I am here with my friend Chris. Chris, who I have known since high school. Now, you're thinking, high school? What was that like back in the Stone Age? Yes, It was back in the Stone Age. It was in a cave. We didn't have chalkboards. They just spray painted on the walls, and it doesn't matter. Nonetheless, why am I here with my friend Chris? Why? Well, we've talked a lot on the show about electric stuff, electric transportation, and moving to cleaner ways of doing things. And one of those things that's always been a thing for me is talking about electric gardening stuff, where we can replace those horrible, loud, smoky two-stroke things that make a lot of noise with clean electrical stuff that we can charge maybe even off the solar, like on top of Chris's roof here, like he does.
No, not bad.
It's a good idea. So, about, what was it? You bought this house in January?
It was, like last October.
Was it that long?
Yeah, September, October.
Okay, so it's almost a year.
Yeah.
Coming up to a year. And when you moved in, you didn't have any gardening stuff, so you needed you have a little lawn.
That's right.
You needed some way to take care of it. So tell me about your decision to buy this as opposed to anything else.
Okay. First thing I'd say is that you know me pretty well, and you know that I don't necessarily. I'm kind of technology agnostic. I don't care what the technology is. Whatever it is has to stand alone and has to work, and make sense. Just make common sense. And so when I started out, I wasn't really after an electric solution for any sake, other than if this makes sense, right? And so it was a question of whether or not it did make sense. And I researched it, actually probably heavier than I needed to, but
that's kind of you.
Yeah, it's kind of me.
It's kind of me too, but we're both that way.
Yeah. So, but I went out and researched it, and one of the things I learned about electric equipment, because there's lots of it out there, and one of the things I learned was you need to buy into an ecosystem.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah, because you end up with, or I ended up certainly with, a drill that had a power supply for it or a battery for it, and 3 other different implements that none of which were compatible, and I'm buying batteries every time.
And you have a shelf full of chargers.
Absolutely.
Which one goes in the right?
You got it. So I went out and looked. Let me not just look at a lawnmower, but let me look at all the gear that I really need. And I didn't have any equipment at the time. We came, we made the relocation here, and none of that gear came with us. So it was buying from the ground up and looking at ecosystems for electric. This Greenworks solution, believe it or not, made sense, not just because it had the ecosystem, but also because when I started looking at it against having a 2-stroke engine, and two-stroke engines, you're mixing gas and oil, and it's sputtering, and it's
loud, it's smoky,
yeah, it's oily,
inevitably the gas can is empty, and you've got to run to the store at the last minute to fill it up so you can mow the lawn or blow the driveway off.
And what if I could have it just like my electric drill or whatever? I can just plug in the battery set, and I can charge the battery and keep going. And so that's what I needed it to do to kind of stand on its own from a technology perspective. Making it cost effective beyond that is even better if it would be that. And so now you kind of bring in, I didn't know I was going to be purchasing a home that had solar panels on it, but I did. And so it is nice. It's nice to have, that extra boost in there. So it's almost like taking the whole fossil fuel thing out of it completely. And so the rest of it is a lot like any lawnmower. It's got its little quirks, but so far I love it.
So you got it. The company's Greenworks,
mm-hmm.
and it's a 40-volt system. You got 2 batteries, 1 regular battery, and I guess an extra bigger
battery.
Extra battery.
Yeah. So I think it came with just the one, but. The bigger battery, as it turns out, I didn't know at the time, but as it turns out, the one bigger battery, I can get everything done. I can get the whole yard done and not run out of juice.
And blown.
Edged, blown, everything. And that's what's in there. There's a lawnmower.
Mown and blown?
Well,
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit that out, maybe.
That's the good part.
Yeah.
So there's the lawnmower, the edger, and the blower, and so I can get through the entire thing on that one battery.
On the big battery.
On the big battery. The smaller battery, I can't. However, I tend to just rotate it into the cycle just to make sure that it's drained and just keeps refilling and draining. Although I know lithium, blah,
right?
Blah, blah.
So it's I remember that it's a 16-inch mower, which you don't have a big yard,
right?
But that's fine because you don't need a riding mower for this yard.
Yeah, and I think there were some other options that were higher voltage options that you could get larger surface areas and blade cutting areas, so you can get like up to 22, 24 or whatever. We obviously didn't need it. You've been out there and it's just a nice small yard, so the whole thing gets done and it's it fits very well for what we have here. And then I've got the whole folding aspect of it that I can put into a box in a container outside that doesn't take up garage space.
Like me, you're OCD enough to want a complete. Like, I need batteries, I need a storage system, it's got to be compact, and it's got to be out of the way.
Yeah, and it took a little while to get all that right. It wasn't just like you go, I'll pick item A. It was, okay, so now I've got the mower, what will it fold into? Having never seen it before, what do I think it'll fold into, and what do I really need for space? And as it turned out, the one that I picked just fit really well.
In there.
Yeah.
And as you're watching this, you're seeing things. What did it take about an hour to do the yard this morning?
Yeah, if that, probably about 45 minutes or so.
Not long.
Yeah. No,
it's not long. Okay, so obviously this is a great solution if you have a small yard. You might want to get something bigger, higher voltage if you have a bigger yard. But what don't you like? What have you run into any problems with this?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
Obviously, the longevity is a question. How long will this thing last? And the batteries, how long will they last? And will they start to become less and less effective over time? That's a question. But I can honestly say I've not hit an issue. Certainly not one that's fixable. I think you were there today when I did some of the sharpening. And so that's the first time I've done a blade sharpening on it. But that, is the kind of thing that you do typically in any kind of lawnmower, and just make sure that things keep working the way they're supposed to.
But it was interesting because we talk on What Drives Us about cars and about tire inflation and simple things that everybody can do to burn less fuel, to burn less electrons, whatever it is. So here you are with the lawnmower blade and a vise, and you're filing it, but it's not just like, it makes really good sense. Right, the sharp blade cuts better. You're not having to go over stuff.
That's a lesson learned, with any lawnmower, any piece of equipment that you're cutting with. I mean, that's kind of independent of the electric stuff, but it applies, and so you're still ending up getting the benefit of having gone through that process and cutting it. And from that point forward, you and I talked before I even went out there. The back lawn was a little bit wet, and so you end up with a mushy lawn, which if you ever try to cut with a lawnmower blade that hasn't been sharpened, oh God.
It's you end up making green plaster.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Muck and all kinds of stuff. So having it sharpened just, cut right through it.
No, I mean, it makes good sense. And and again, maybe it's this way on every mower that's ever been made, but it took you a minute to take one nut off, two little plates, boom, pop the blade off.
Yep.
And about a minute to get it back on.
Yep.
It wasn't very difficult. So that's the other nice thing about that is it's not a big heavy thing. There was no gas to spill out when you tipped it over. You set it on its side, you pop the blade off, you sharpen it, you put it back on, and you go to work.
It sounds strange, or maybe it probably doesn't to you at all, but it probably sounds strange to other people that not having to deal with gas and oil is a big deal. But you know what? It's a big deal. It actually can be a real pain in the butt to have to keep cans of gasoline, to have to keep oil, to have to do the mixes, to have that stuff potentially spilling in different places, or being concerned about it igniting.
Right. Who doesn't love a gallon of gas, which is equal to what? 3 sticks of dynamite
in
your garage? That's what I want, some of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. But what are you going to do? Well, we should wrap this up. Any other observations? Anything you want to tell somebody that is considering this?
No. I mean, I think it kind of shows, based on the videos that you took earlier, kind of shows what is available there. I'd certainly, if you're looking for it, I'm like I said, I'm a technology agnostic, and do your homework, do your research. But I'd be surprised if you didn't come up with something like that, because it's too good, too easy.
By any chance, do you remember what it cost?
Not off the top of my head, but I can find out and let you know.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out. I'll probably post that in the comments. But it's Greenworks, again, is the company that makes the products that Chris uses. And
ordered it through Amazon.
Oh, you ordered it through Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So didn't even have to go to the big box store with a mask on. Well, I guess maybe not last year.
Not last
year.
No
mask,
we didn't know about masks back then. Way back then. Yeah.
Back in the good old days. Chris, thank you so much.
You bet.
And thanks for watching. Once again, do, if you have not already, at youtube.com/whatdrivesus, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you get notified automatically when new videos are posted. Thanks very much for watching this one. Chris, thank you so much for doing it. And I hope you enjoy it. Now, go take care of your yard, okay?
Please. God,
grass is getting out of control.